Okay guys, so the first part, we're just going to be going over the builds of Deadeye. We're not really going to be going into whether or not it's broken, what parts of it should be fixed or changed. We're just going to be talking about the builds and how they're used. So starting off with what is kind of meta Deadeye build that I've seen lately, we're going to be using a mix of Marauder and Dragon gear with some Berserker. So I've got Dragons for my mask, shoulders, Berserker for my chest, Dragons for the gloves, the pants, and the shoes. We're going to be using rifle, obviously. I use Berserker there with Sigil of Celerity, Sigil of Bloodlust. Doesn't really matter too much what sigils you use here. I do recommend Sigil of Celerity just so you get that quickness for the burst off of the steel in the beginning. And then the alternate weapon set, I very commonly see a sword, dagger here. I'm using Berserker for both with cleansing and celerity. I do recommend the cleansing here. You might have an energy sigil or something if you want it, but sword, dagger, doesn't really matter too much. I've seen sword pistol as well. I've used sword pistol, I've used spear, short bow, any combination of things really. But sword dagger appears to be the most common and helps a good bit with mobility. For our trinkets, we're going to be doing Dragon for our amulet. For our rings, we're doing one Dragon, one Berserker. For our back, we're going to be doing Marauder. And then we're going to be doing one Marauder and one Berserker for our accessories. For relics, I am using Relic of Speed right now. It doesn't matter too much what relic you use here. I like Relic of Speed just for the extra mobility, as we don't have quite as much mobility as regular Daredevil would on this build. You can also use Relic of Fireworks, or Relic of the Unseen Invader, Relic of a Daredevil for make sure you get a crit on your stealth attack, Death Judgment, whatever you want there. I just personally like Relic of Speed. Going in to the traits, right? You need to make sure you definitely have the Shadow Arts line, as this build very heavily focuses on entering and exiting stealth. You're also going to be using Trickery, and then obviously Deadeye. Under Shadow Arts, we're going to be using mainly Shadow's Embrace. This removes a condition when you enter or exit stealth. So every time you enter or exit stealth, you remove one of these damaging conditions, which is very helpful as we do not have the remove condition on Evade that Daredevil would normally be taking. If you're going up against someone you know is very power-centric and not very condition-centric, though, you can use Hidden Thief instead. This is very useful against other thieves, as you have that ranged steel, it applies blindness, and then your stealth attacks apply weakness. Right. Next, we're going to be using Leeching Venoms. Venom utility skills siphon life when struck foes. Right, this gives you Venom whenever you enter exit stealth, and also makes all of your Venom applied skills siphon health. You usually do a little over 200 damage, and you do a little over 300 healing, which is very nice as it's very easy to stack them. You can stack them pretty high, as you see here. Every time you enter exit stealth, you get a stack, right? So you can stack it up pretty high. If you go through stealth very frequently, in and out, you can stack up to around, I think I've gotten like 19 stacks of it, which is a good bit. You can also use Cloaked in Shadow if you want to. I have seen that one be used. I personally haven't used that. I've really just used the Venom Siphon, but this one does definitely have its pros to it, right? You're going to be gaining stealth very frequently on Deadeye, and this blinds nearby foes, helps with those heavy melee attacks you might be facing, right? It also makes it so whenever you blind a foe, you're going to siphon health from them, as opposed to whenever you apply Venom. And then the last one, you want Shadow's Rejuvenation. This gives you that initiative when you enter or exit stealth. You gain 2 on entering and 1 on exiting. This makes it so that you always have enough initiative to access stealth again, right? So if you don't have that, when you go through here, you'd lose that 2 and that 1 that you gain, right? So you'd still be back 4 from where you are now. That gives you the ability to just constantly stealth, as long as you make sure that you exit it before you reapply, right? And this gives what Deadeye very commonly has, the perma-stealth, right? You're not really perma-stealth because you're coming very briefly out of stealth before reapplying it. Going into Trickery, you want to be using Thrill of the Crime. You can also use Lesser Haste here. I personally prefer Thrill of the Crime just for the might and the fury, and also has the lower cooldown. It goes every time you steal. There is no cooldown on it, and since your steal refreshes every time you kill a foe, especially if you're in a group fight, you get that additional might, swiftness, and fury a lot more frequently. Going to be using Bountiful Theft. This steals 2 boons and also gives you some additional boons already, like Vigor and Might, right? It's not a huge amount of might. They're really for the boon stolen. The biggest thing that this will do is it will remove stability, which is very good. It also removes Aegis, so if you have someone who is trying to block you with Aegis or has stability trying to avoid CC, you can rip it off with Bountiful Theft. And then the last one, we're going to be using Sleight of Hand. Dazes a target. This will trigger mainly your celerity sigil if you have it. Otherwise, you can use it to interrupt enemies, or if you run some other type of modifier off of CC, it'll help with that. You can also use Quick Pockets if you're going to be weapon swapping. I've seen people run double rifle and then run this, and they just spam rifle skills a lot more heavily. Under Deadeye, going to be using 1 in the chamber. When you cast a cantrip, gain a random new stolen skill. Stolen skills deal more damage, so the damage modifier for stolen skills isn't hugely important here. We're mainly taking this for casting a cantrip, gaining your new stolen skill, because we are going to be using several cantrips here, right? And so when you use these, it's going to give you a new stolen skill. And since we are going to be running Fire for Effect, all stolen skills are steal time, it will really stack up your might very quickly. Kind of jumping the gun there, coming back a little bit. Silent Scope, obviously you want this one. Gain precision, gain additional precision while wielding a rifle, right? So this increases your precision off the bat and increases it while holding a rifle. So without a rifle, we're at 52.66, and with a rifle, we're at 58.33. So that is a significant increase in precision while holding a rifle. It also gives you the stealth upon dodge. It's only 1 second, but you still proc all of the traits that are upon entering or exiting stealth. So just that 1 second dodge, you get a total of 3 initiative, right, and remove 2 conditions. You also heal whenever you enter or exit stealth, with a cooldown for this one though. Mercenary Ambush is non-selectable. And then gain super speed whenever you enter or exit stealth, no cooldown. And stealth attacks siphon health when they hit. Not a huge help here, but it's still something, right? And going over the other non-selectable, stealing gives you initiative, so that's your steal. Increase max initiative by 3, and increase all damage dealt per initiative spent. Steal gains reduced recharge time, that's a really good one. It's just Deadeye. Deadeye's mark recharges if your mark is defeated, right? And gain regeneration when this recharge occurs. That's super helpful with the Bountiful Theft and Thrill of the Crime. And then Iron Sight, strike damage dealt to your mark target is increased, and strike damage taken from your mark target is reduced. So you always want to target, even more so, you always want to target the person who's going to go down the fastest when you're on Deadeye, but this helps a lot because they're likely going to be doing the most damage to you as well. So that is the traits. Going over the selected skills, I use Withdraw for my heal, just as another evade, and really mainly to get rid of a mob here. Deadeye is inherently very weak to a mob, right? Because you think about it, Daredevil, they usually have dash, and that'll remove their mob. The dodges remove the mob. But Deadeye is kind of weak against it, so this helps just get rid of it. It's very low cooldown. It's a decent heal now that it's gotten improved, and it's also an evade. And it removes other inhibiting conditions as well, including Torment. Shadow Step, obviously, is kind of meta for pretty much any thief build. It's a stun break 2 times, right? You have a 15-second duration to return to your starting location and cure 3 conditions, right? And both of them break stun. You're going to be taking Mercy cantrip, lose all malice, instantly refresh Deadeye's mark, and gain initiative. Gain additional initiative for each stack of malice you had prior to using this skill, right? So whenever you use a skill that takes up initiative and it hits your target, you are granted malice, which is these dots here. They fill up with red. And those, you deal more damage on your stealth attack per stack of malice, right? But you can get rid of all of them to refill your initiative using this. It also refreshes steal and also gives you a new stolen skill, right? Because it's a cantrip, we have that traded. It is also a stun break, so that is a very, very useful skill, especially for the playstyle of this particular Deadeye. For this utility skill, I currently have Smokescreen, just to block projectiles. Really, I was fighting a lot of projectile using enemies, mainly Soul Beasts. So when a Soul Beast would use Sick'em on me, you could no longer remove Reveal with the Elite, so they got rid of that. And since I am running that stealth elite, I don't have Dagger Storm, so I would just pop this whenever I saw the Sikkim appear on me, and then they would be projectile blocked. I would sit inside of it and just spam rifle skills on them. I do also sometimes use roll for initiative if I'm not expecting heavy projectile use against me, just for another stun break, initiative gain, and an evade. I believe it also removes a move. It doesn't say it on there, but I've see, you recover from, that is on there, it's just written up there, okay. Yeah, so you remove crippled, chilled, and immobilized, right? And then for your elite, using cantrip here, just as an additional stealth source, very quick stealth if you're low on initiative, you don't have any endurance left, you can't dodge, just a quick 2-second stealth. You can also additionally use Dagger Storm here if you are, like I said, expecting a large amount of projectiles. So that is the build, right? And next we're going to be going a little over the playstyle. I'll pull up some clips of fights I had and talk a little bit about what we're doing and why we're doing it. For the basic rotation of this build, right, you're going to be obviously selecting your target. The first thing you're going to do is immediately do your Deadeye's mark and then use your stolen skill. From there, you're going to mainly be using Rifle 2. Sometimes you're going to be using Rifle 3 off the bat. You want to burn through all of your initiative right away to get that malice up, and then you're immediately going to use Mercy to gain all that initiative back, lose the malice. You're going to use your stolen skill, Deadeye's mark again, stolen skill again, and then you can either continue with Rifle 2, sometimes Rifle 3, or you can go into stealth depending on what your enemy is doing at that point, right? So how it's going to look is you're going to come up, you're going to use your mark, stolen skill, Rifle 2, Rifle 2, Rifle 3, get your initiative back, stolen skill, steal, Rifle 2, they're already dead, right? Obviously it is just a mob, but you're doing a good bit of damage with all of those attack there, right? If you need stealth at all, you can just use your dodge, and then immediately you'll get enough initiative to go into your rifle stealth. The basic combination for the rifle stealth is you're going to be going into the kneel. This slows your movement drastically, but it also gives you new skills, right? So you see the top one is when you're standing, and the bottom one is when you're kneeling. It improves your regular skills a little bit here. It also improves your Death's Judgment by projectile speed. But the biggest thing that does is it changes Rifle 4, which is initially a shadow step away from your target that clears a condition and is a leap finisher, that uses a good chunk of initiative. It changes it to a ground targeted placeable smoke screen, right? You place it down here and it blocks projectiles, right, for 5 seconds. It's also a smoke combo field. If you kneel while you're in it, it also changes the skill again to a shadow step forward while granting yourself stealth, 3 seconds, right? So you place it, you see how it changes when you're in it, you hit it, and it shadow ports you forward and gives you 3 seconds stealth. And you can end your kneel stance there to gain your normal movement speed. So again, kneel, place the screen, leap through it, stand back up. And that is the main way that Deadeyes keep their stealth up. As you can see, I'm gaining full initiative back pretty much each time I use it, and if I need to supplement that at all, I can do a quick dodge to enter exit stealth, and I'll be good. So that is how you're going to maintain your stealth while they burn cooldowns or whatever, until you can use your rotation again. You're just going to go through, and then once you've done, let's say that we've used Malice already, right? We've already used that, so we've already gone through that once. So now I've got full initiative again, or full Malice again. I'm going to come back, stealth, hit him with that Death's Judgment, and it's going to hit them for a larger amount than any of our other attacks. Against most players, it will usually hit from around 9 up to 15, 17,000. On this build, I think the highest I've seen is around 17,000 against a light armor class. I believe it was an elementalist, it was a power catalyst if I recall correctly. But yeah, so that is the basic rotation for this. Obviously, you're going to be using your stun breaks as needed, your additional stealth as needed, and then just continuing. The big thing is, don't overcommit with this build, right? You want to make sure that you're playing like a thief. This build is very much built to play like thief. What that means, like, you're doing hit and run attacks, right? So you'll do the stealth on them, or the Deadeye's mark on them. You'll do your attacks, and you'll go away, and then you'll hide in stealth as long as you need to. You can do it pretty much permanently unless you're marked. So you want to watch out for those marks, right? But unless you're marked, you can pretty much just permanently access stealth, and that'll allow you to wait out most cooldowns and blocks because they don't know when you're going to attack. You can build your Malice up slowly with Rifle 2 or Rifle 3 if you want more damage concentrated, and then you can stealth and wait out and then hit them with a good Death Judgment. I'm talking through this fight, so I'm coming up on a camp I'm going to be defending. There's a Soul Beast and a Reaper taking it. I target the Soul Beast first. I try to dismount him, he's already dismounted. So I can just get him in combat and I come around. I start off by hitting him with some autos, stealthing, then I hit him with a steal and stolen attack, hit him with some rifle 2s. I get revealed here with Sick'em, so I use my heal to evade. Use Mercy to get Malice off, more initiative, hit him with a steal and stolen skill again, rifle 2, stealth, hit him with a Death Judgment, he's downed. I go for the Shadow Step Stomp, because I know the Reaper's going to try CCing, which he does. Get the Stomp clean off, immediately stealth, get a longer stealth off using rifle 4. Come back around out of the combat, hit the Reaper with a steal, stolen skill, rifle 3 twice, and rifle 2. Dodge for stealth, and hit him with a Death Judgment, and he's immediately downed as well. So you can kind of see the rotation that I went through there was the exact same rotation that I was talking about previously. Alright, our next build. This build is a lot less stealth-centric. It's more of a meme one-shot build. It's kind of where I thrive at more, to be honest. For your gear, you're going to be running full Berserker with Rune of the Scholar, Berserker Rifle with Energy and Bloodlust, and then Berserker Scepter Dagger with Force and Celerity. And then Berserker for all of your trinkets, and then for your Relic of Fireworks or Relic of the Claw, either one works. And then you are going to be running trait-wise, Critical Strikes, Trickery, and Deadeye. Under Critical Strikes, we're going to be taking as many damage modifiers as we can. So Twin Fangs, this will deal increased critical damage off the bat by 2%, which is further increased when your health is above the threshold. So whenever you're above 90% health, it's going to increase another 5%. And then you gain bonus critical hit chance when hitting a foe from behind or the side, or when they are defined. This is a critical chance increased by 7%. Gain ferocity based on precision. This is going to be a 15% increase. So if you look at how much that actually changes, right now we are at 249.8 with it. And if we take off of it, we go down to 229, which is a significant increase. So we're going to be running that. And then landing a critical hit while under the effects of Fury increases the duration of Fury. And then gain increased Ferocity while under the effects of Fury. So we're mainly doing this for the Ferocity. That's an additional 300 Ferocity, which is amazing. Then we're going to be doing Trickery, the same Trickery ones as usual, Thrill of the Crime, Bountiful Theft, and Sleight of Hand. The Daze is very important here as it gives you the Celerity, which is very much needed for this build. And then Deadeye, we're going to be using Malicious Intent. Marking a target or striking a mark with a stealth attack will immediately grant Malice. We're doing this one, so we just have that initial Malice off the bat. We're not really using any cantrips, so one in the chamber doesn't make sense. And this one also doesn't really make sense because this is mainly a meme one-shot build. We're not going to be looking at going up against multiple foes. We are still running Silent Scope as we're taking Rifle offhand as our only source of stealth besides our utilities. And then we are going to be using Be Quick or Be Killed. Quickness, when marking a foe, your power and precision are increased while under this effect. So whenever you have quickness, you gain 200 power and 200 precision, which is very useful since we get that celerity, we get that 5 seconds of quickness whenever we CC someone. For utilities, you can use either Hide in Shadows or Withdraw. Either one works. If I'm going up against someone I know is Condi-centric, I will also use Malicious Restoration for that Condi transfer and additional healing. Shadow Step, again, meta for pretty much any thief build. Then we need to be taking Assassin's Signet. You can take Blinding Powder here, or Scorpion Wire, or Prepare Shorter Shadow Portal, pretty much whatever you want in this one. I really like having this one as an additional stealth source. Since we don't have the initiative gain back on entering and exiting stealth, it's hard to upkeep stealth with Rifle. We can really only access it twice in a row before we are burnt all of our initiative. And then you are going to be running Basilisk Venom, which is very important here. For our food, we're going to be using peppercorn crusted sous vide steaks, and then for our utility, potent sharpening stones. Going through the rotation of this build. Get up here to a target. This is a build that was in the preview, dealing with very high amounts of damage. I've hit up to a 23,000 single hit against a medium armor target on it so far. The rotation is going to be apply Basilisk Venom. You're going to be starting a little farther away because you are very, very, very offensive, not defensive at all on this build. Apply Basilisk Venom. Stealth if you need to. You can even use Shadow Step to pour into your target if you desire. Then you are going to apply your Assassin's Signet for that 540 power increase for 5 seconds. Then you are going to steal. Use your Stolen Mark ability if you want to. Otherwise, you just go steal, and then immediately you're going to go into Twilight Combo, which is where your main damage is going to come from. you're going to use it twice. Now, Twilight combo has two projectiles. It has a fast-moving, light-hitting projectile and a slow-moving, heavy-hitting projectile, which is great because most people will see that projectile, especially if you're from stealth, and dodge that first one, which will allow the second heavy-hitting one to hit them. But it is rather slow-moving, and it has a rather short range. It can be somewhat easy to evade, which is why it's nice to have the Basilisk Venom and start from stealth if you wish. So how that's going to look is you're going to apply your Basilisk Venom, your Signet. As you steal, you're going to hit this twice, swap to Rifle Stealth, and hit them with Death Judgment. So the last little bit there was you're going to swap to your rifle, dodge for stealth. You're going to have pretty much full mouse by then. When you get that stealth, you immediately go into Malicious Death Judgment for a very high hitting attack there. As we look at our damage dealt, we did a 12k Twilight combo with that small 2k hit, and then we did an 8k Twilight combo, and then after that he was dead. So like I said, they were very slow moving projectiles. We'll try to find someone with a little more health over here so we can go through the full rotation. You can see all of the damage dealt. Alright, we're coming up against two players here, a Dragon Hunter and a Harbinger. We're going to go for the Dragon Hunter first, apply that Basilisk Venom, steal, step to 3 with a Signet, he's down ready, swap to Rifle. We're going to do some Rifle 2 and 3s just to cleave out here and hit both him and the Harbinger. At this point he is cleaved out and completely dead, so I'm going to switch my target over to the Harbinger, who's already pretty low health from the cleaving that we did there. Going to steal on him for an interrupt, dodge for stealth. I'm going to hit him with an attack here that is actually able to immediately down him, and then we're just going to go in for the stomp. This build really works just because of the absolutely high amount of damage that it does. For the next portion, we're going to go over some counterplay for Deadeye, starting off not with necessarily a build that counters Deadeye specifically, but instead using some of the builds I use regularly on Mesmer. The three things that Deadeye is really weak to is obviously any type of reveal, whether that's from Mark, from using a trap, or a sentry turret. Very high direct damage after a CC, as they're very soft, very squishy, and any high condi. My favorite way to get them is to CC and hit him with high damage here. So I know there's a Deadeye up here because I heard him, and I'm waiting to see him. As soon as I see him come out of stealth, I CC him and hit him with a very high targeted burst immediately, and he's immediately downed. Deadeyes are very squishy, and very high burst is one of the best ways to very quickly kill a Deadeye. Virtuoso is very good for this, especially because of the channeled targeted shatters that track into stealth. As long as you initiate the channel cast for it before their stealth, the entirety of the shatter will hit them as long as they do not dodge. So here I'm just kind of toying with this Revenant that's in spawn. I get hit by Deadeye Mark, so I dodge immediately for the burst, immediately turn and CC him and hit him with as much burst I can. Then I portrait him right on him and hit him with another burst, instantly downing him. So just that high, very quick damage is one of the best ways to deal with a Deadeye, especially once they've already revealed themselves. So here we are chasing this Deadeye who glides into his spawn area, so I mount and jump down to him, dismount, and immediately go for a CC on him. I get my CC as he ports into me, immediately mow a CC again, hit him with a high burst, and he's down. One of the things that Deadeye is very weak to is Condi. So just pretty much any Condi build is going to help you out here. I'll show you here. I'm going to change up my builds a little bit, adding the Reflect here. But yeah, any Condi build is going to be good because they do get that removal in and out of stealth, but if you stack multiple Condis on them, it's going to tick pretty hard. So I'll show you that using my regular Condi build. Rifle 4, I'm going to block, Mark, hit him with a Scepter 3 just to kind of worry him out a little bit here. My heal here to hit him. Dodge stealth attack. Torch 5, I'm hitting with a Shatter 2 here. She evades, it's fine. Put up my Reflect, hit him with Pistol 5. He interrupts me, Axe 3 to cause some confusion, he dodges it. Swap back, Scepter 2 block, he's out of range, it's fine. I'm going to channel here, Mind Vuln, just so he reveals himself. Hit him with Scepter 3, dodges it, it's fine, and then Shatter 2, and he's downed. So this build is Bladesworn anti-Deadeye build that I was still working on a little bit, but overall it seems to be fairly good. I just was still deciding on sigils mainly. There's a good different combination of sigils that you can use for this. For gear, we're going to be using a mix of Berserker with Diviner, Marauder, Diviner with Berserker weapons, and then a mix of Diviner with Assassin, Berserker, Dragon, and Berserker Valkyrie mix stats for the trinkets. I have Relic of Rivers, and then for our trait line, you can see them here. I'm going to run through them all right now. We got the same Deadeye. He's still willing to duel me. I appreciate him greatly for letting me showcase these different builds. I know it's not fun to fight on something that's built specifically to counter you, so I really appreciate him being willing to do this. Our traits, we're going to be running Defense, Strength, and Blade Swarm. Defense, Shield Master for blocking, that'll trigger off of Aegis and any other blocks. Resistance when we dodge for any blinds, and then Cleansing Iron out with blinds. You can also use either Stalwart Strength, or if you want to switch out for stances, you can use Last Stand. For Strength, we're going to be running Restorative Strength for that resistance. Great Fortitude just for a little extra damage, and Might Makes Right for some healing off of our Dragon Trigger. For Blade Swarm, we're going to be using Swift as the Wind for additional flow and swiftness upkeep. We're going to be using Unshakable Mountain for some barrier upkeep, and then Dragon Slash mainly for the blind removal, and then also just for might gain. So you want to keep up either blocking or Aegis, mainly Aegis for here. I'm going to open up with a Reflect here, and another Reflect. I'm going to drop down my banner for some Aegis. Get with a little burst there. Gain some more Aegis to myself. Come with an Axe 3.
Let's do this.
Another burst.
Time to do some damage.
Get him with a Reveal and a burst here. Little CC, Reflect. Move to him. Get some Aegis on, and blind's ignored, so I'm going to hit him through the blind, and he's downed. Again, bowing. I'm going to start off with the Reflect again. Here, it also applies Aegis. As soon as it's gone, apply the Reflect again. Hit him with the Reveal, CC, evaded CC, hit him with the burst here. Apply Aegis again for the block. Axe 3, should get Axe 2 on him. Hit him with a little burst, apply Aegis. Refresh my Aegis. And it's tracking even through blind. Get Dragon Trigger. Get a nice Reflect. He swapped off to his Sword Dagger. Go for a heal here. Refresh. Get a Reflect off. CC with a Reveal. Dodge it though, but I'm still able to down him with the Reflect and range damage. So he's playing a little heavier on Sword Dagger now to counter my Reflects. So I'm going to be focusing a little more on timing my dodges when he pours into me. Still starting off with Reflect here. Get some Aegis up. Dodge here, get another Reflect on, try to get CC from range on him, he's out of range on it, start charging up Dragon Trigger, put on some Aegis, put into him, hit him with the ranged Dragon Trigger, he dodged it there, put on my Reflects here, so I can hit him with some range and he hits himself with ranged, going for a CC and a burst, put a Reveal on him, get some damage on him, hit him with a little melee, put off a heal, Reveal him. Another heal. Pistol 5 in. Pistol 4 for Aegis. Axe 3. Hits nice and hard. Axe 3 again. Pistol 5. Reveal him. CC. He dodges it. Get Aegis up for Reflex. Charge it up. And 2. He evades it. Put on CC. Reflect. And then my melee damage. Get out the banner for Aegis for Reflect. Heal. Another Reflect. Move to him. Dragon Trigger, he's already downed. Big thanks again for that Deadeye for those duels. They really helped this video. There's a lot of Deadeyes who refuse duels against the builds I built to counter them, which is understandable. It's difficult to fight a build that specifically counters you, so I really appreciate him doing that for the sake of this video. Next we're going to be going into the topic of whether or not Deadeye is actually broken, and if so, what we can do to fix it. Alright, so is Deadeye broken? The general consensus amongst pretty much everybody who doesn't play Deadeye in War vs. World that I've talked to says yes, Deadeye is horrible to fight. They can OOC pretty much at will. They have infinite access to stealth. They have infinite initiative through entering and exiting stealth. They have ranged attacks, and they're also very quick with the super speed from entering and exiting stealth. So my opinion, hot take here, I do not think Deadeye is broken. I think Deadeye in and of itself mechanically does what it's supposed to. It hits hard with attacks from ranged, but is also very squishy and somewhat easy to lock down. Of course, this is very often not the case just because of stealth. I think stealth in and of itself is a much more broken mechanic than anything that Deadeye has inherently to itself. Right? Its access to stealth is only allowed and seems broken because of the way that stealth currently works. Stealth, as it sits, allows you to, whenever you want, as long as you are not revealed, enter a state where the enemy cannot see you, cannot hit you with targeted skills, and does not know what you are doing, where you're at, whether or not you're even there still, right? It kind of brings back the whole feeling of Ghost Thief from 2016, 2017. The way to fix this, in my opinion, is as Deadeye and Daredevil both kind of abuse stealth in the same way, that is, they abuse the initiative gain from entering and exiting and other boons and modifiers from entering and exiting, whether that be through the Rifle 4 or Dagger Pistol, Pistol 5 with Heartseeker or Bound, right? They don't really permanently stealth, because if you think about it, just being in stealth for long periods of time, while it can be annoying, isn't really a broken mechanic. They're not able to hit you directly as long as they are stealth, and just so like you're not able to hit them directly just as long as they're remaining stealth, which is what I think the stealth mechanic is meant to be and what it should be more of. The entering and exiting stealth, though, especially for something like Daredevil, where they can hit you with the Heartseeker as they go through the unstealth to stealth in a split second, less than half a second, or Deadeye, where they can just enter and exit as long as they want, remaining untargeted for you and hitting you with that Rifle 2 with a quick shot between it as long as they are hitting it at the right moment. It becomes very annoying and starts to become a little unbalanced at that point, right? The easy way to fix this would be anytime that you exit stealth, you are revealed, which would make it so that thieves can't just enter and exit stealth permanently, but they would also have the option of stealthing for long periods of time if they want to, just with the exception of not being able to hit people and then immediately re-stealthing, right? Because the biggest way that Deadeye and Daredevil both use that to their advantage is not using their stealth attacks, which is what Thief is supposed to use stealth for. It's what it's dynamically made to do. Instead, they're using smaller attacks in between their stealth. That makes it a lot harder to target them, and also just makes it harder to capitalize on them using the mechanics the way that they're supposed to. Having it set they're revealed anytime they exit stealth, regardless of how they do it, would really encourage and create initiative for them to utilize those stealth attacks and start playing Thief the way that it's supposed to. I don't really think that Deadeye itself has anything broken on it. Yeah, it's got a lot of damage modifiers and stuff, but it's still very squishy, very easy to kill when they are not constantly just entering and exiting stealth, being that quote-unquote perma-stealth state. Hot take, that's my opinion. I really just think that extra reveal just whenever you exit stealth for all classes, right, would be the way to go about fixing stealth, because as of right now, the only way to stop them from entering and exiting stealth pretty much indefinitely is with a in-place reveal, whether that be through a trap or through a sentry or a utility skill reveal or a trait reveal. But that makes it unfair for some classes that don't have abilities to reveal without using sentry turrets or traps, right? And I do not think that any mechanic should enforce any other player to have to use a siege ability to counter an inherent mechanic to another class, right? And only some classes have reveals, like Hollowsmith, Scrapper do, I believe. Core NG can as well through traits, and then Dragon Hunter has reveal on F1 and on traps, and then Warrior has some reveals. And then obviously Ranger has Sikkim. Beyond that, like if you're looking at Mesmer or Elementalist, they don't have any reveals at all or any abilities to cause revealed, right? Other than using Siege. So I think that just fixing the way that Thieves permanently enter and exit stealth with small attacks between would really fix what a lot of people think of as stealth being broken. I don't think stealth itself as a mechanic is broken, just the way that it's allowed to be applied and reapplied. Yeah, that's my hot take, and now we're going to get into the portion that everybody really wants to see, which is just some degeneracy on Deadeye.
After every hit we take, every feeling that I get, but I haven't missed you yet. Every roommate kept awake by every sigh and scream we make. All the feelings that I get uncertainty. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I start again, and whatever pain may come, today this ends. I'm forgiving what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I've
There's the power. This seems like a good spot. Hurts, doesn't it? I require more energy.
What are coming from behind? I don't want to stay on that. Alright, got him. Coming? Oh, yeah, I guess.
They just sit there and shoot it. You're not gonna break it.
There's buttons, bro. They don't see us or what. That's gonna hurt. Hey, Rock.
I've seen this. Armor. I'd go to the wizard vault and buy this. You get 3 of them in a stat select. You get
thanks for watching, guys. And if you want more specific builds to help counter Deadeye, I've got some more, and let me know in the comments and I'll drop them below.